The end of the month brunch extravaganza will return on Sunday, June 30th, just around the corner. The event runs from 11 to 3 here in the ballroom. Lounge expansion update. The board had their walkthrough today. At every executive session, the board conducts a walkthrough and a review of the project with the vendor as well as the architect. Project is on schedule. We're still targeting the completion date of September 2024, the end of the month. Next slide, please. And if you watch, Jason, there we go. I'm going to try to make it smaller for you out there, ladies and gentlemen, so my mission accomplished. I'll put the banner right behind me. Planning and Compliance is working to address houses in disrepair. This came up during the last delegate assembly with some concerns from those delegates with properties within their district that had been abandoned. Staff is coordinating with the delegates to identify that. I appreciate the delegates who did email me the concerned houses, and I will be following up with the delegate committee chairperson on this to make sure this is communicated to the delegates to communicate those issues to Jason and myself. Now, this process will require notifying the member to a hearing with the board, conducting that hearing, mailing the decision to the member, and then taking actions within 30 days of the hearing. In essence, this is going to be a 90-day cycle that continues with some of these properties that have been abandoned or are in the process of foreclosure. And we will continue that cycle to address these habitual distressed properties. Age verification is proceeding. The forms were in the March Lifestyles, the Lifestyle magazine, as well as the desk near Recreation, which is Felicia, the administration office with Connie, and on the website. Now, as of June 24th, we've received a total of 2,140 responses. But that equates to about 64.3%. We need to be at 80. So at this next delegate meeting that will be coming up, we are going to be asking for the delegates' assistance in getting us over that last hump. The repair and replacement replenishment, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. The repair and replacement replenishment fund update. The recordation of that CCNR amendment did occur on the 17th of June. That is actually amendment number 8. Escrow instructions were updated on the 21st, and I can already see from the responses that we're getting, some questions, those have been included in the escrow packets. We'll have information on this process to alert buyers as well as real estate agents that will be on the outside of our website. So you don't need a password to get it. That information will be out there, and Anand took care of that. So you can go to the website and see that information. And as a reminder, July 4th, Independence Day is right around the corner, and the administration offices will be closed. The Sandwich and the Pro Shop will close at 3 p.m. that day. What the construction looked like at the time, and then the picture to the right is when we started tearing down items in the lounge. That's the first picture. Let's go next one. So to the left, you see people enjoying the lounge at a point in time, and to the right, you see what the work is being done to remove the wall. You can see through the ladder and everything that has been opened up. Next slide. You can see what the bar was before and what it's looking like right now. Opened up, the ceiling's been opened up. You can see in the picture on the right, the far left of it. I don't have my pointer, but that oversized windows to allow 2 bartenders to serve out of the window when there's events in here to help with serving our customers quickly. Next slide. And then this is a picture of what's opened up now from the lounge near the bar, looking out toward the restaurant. You see the wall has been built up there, separating the lounge from the restaurant. You also see to the right where the light's coming through. That is a doorway that so members can enter and exit the lounge from that side, close to the veranda and the greenery over there. And that completes my report, Mr. President. Jason will give an update on executive session actions.
Okay, there we go. All right. This report will give the community an update on actions that were taken by the board at their executive sessions that were held on June 12th and June 26th, at which time litigation, member discipline, formation of contracts, and personnel matters were discussed. With member matters, the board reviewed 3 member requests for fee waivers. The board approved the F&B and golf receivables as of May 31st, as well as the assessment account receivables as of May 31st. The board approved the delinquent report. The board reviewed 2 show cause hearings. The board discussed having a restaurant and lounge and marketing committee work on the branding for the F&B amenities. The board reviewed a request for a payment plan. The board interviewed candidates for the financial advisory committee. The board reviewed questions and comments from the FAC. The board reviewed and discussed directives to the technology review ad hoc committee. The board approved to have the coffee with the board quarterly on Mondays in the afternoon. We are going to work with Recreation to see when the room is available, and at that time we'll be able to post a time. But they will move quarterly, which we will still have one in July. They will be on a Monday. The date and time will follow as soon as I get with it. With legal, the board approved the executive session minutes from May 22nd and June 12th. The board received several updates from legal. The board approved a reimbursement to a board member for Inc. The board approved a foreclosure resolution on the following: APN 419-300-004, APN 440-180-002, APN 440-260-001, and APN 419. APN 419-293-01. The board approved to continue with the foreclosure on a property, and the board approved to send the following account to collections attorney to foreclose on the lien for the notice of default, and that is APN 440-133-025. The board also discussed captive insurance. Now, with formation of contracts, the board received updates from the management company on several items. The board met to discuss third-party contracts. The board discussed cost savings and revenue-generating ideas. The board discussed budget directives to management for the 2025 budget. The board received and filed the investment activity report as well as the project activity report. The board approved to have the executive sessions on the open session days limited to 4 hours. The board discussed investments and met with the investment advisors. The board discussed the timeline for the food and beverage RFP. The board reviewed and approved the use of a couple of new vendors and exempt them from 5. The board approved replacing the non-function cameras on the east wall of the RV lot. The board discussed and approved increasing the fence on the north side of the RV lot. The board approved management to look into renting the properties that the association owns the second on. The board reviewed and approved the May to June narrative and analytic reports, and these will be put on the website. The board met and received updates on the lounge expansion. The board approved a one-time cleanup on the front yards of a few vacant properties. And finally, the board approved to replace some dead plant material on the championship course, holes 16, 14, 15. That completes the report of the executive session actions.
Thank you. Any report from the sub-associations? District Delegate Assembly?
Good afternoon, my name is Cal Martin, and I'm here to tell you just a little bit more about the District Delegate Assembly. We are currently working a 3-step plan to actually call, I'll probably heard the business adage, plan your work and work your plan. That's kind of where we're at right now. We've been meeting in the workshops, first 2 workshops, just basically brainstorming ideas on improvements in the community. This is going to continue for 1 more workshop, and at that point in time, we'll move to vote of all of the delegates to determine the priority on which we address each of those individual ideas for improvement. After that, the next step is to then craft the motion, figure out how we would do such an implementation, how it would work in the community, and then bring it to a vote back at the regular District Delegate Assembly meeting and refer all of that to the appropriate authority at that moment in time, either up to the board for further consideration or if it's something that we can affect on our own, then we will implement that as a group. The next DDA workshop is going to be Friday, July 5th. It'll be at 1 p.m. in the North Clubhouse, and it certainly is open to all delegates and all alternate delegates for your participation in helping shape what we're going to be working on. If it's open to anybody who wants to come and observe it, if you would like to, but you might find something better on TV. The last District Delegate Assembly meeting, I announced the creation of 3 different committees for the District Delegate Assembly. The first is the Committee for Delegate Affairs. This basically is a standing committee that will handle the process of, first of all, creating process for how we deal with each of the recurring events that happens periodically in the District Delegate Assembly. One would be appointments of alternates or district delegates during the period between election cycles. They're also going to try to craft some sort of a written policy or written process for the ethical standards by which a delegate should abide, deal with how they're going to address people who do not choose to be ethical, if that should ever occur. And they're going to also help decide whether or not the District Delegate Assembly should be involved in various requests that do come from other organizations within the community. And it's not so much that they decide it, it's that they're coming up with the process for which we can filter these requests in, and then as a body decide whether it's something we want to do or not. The next committee is a ad hoc committee, and that's basically for the purpose of creating standard rules so that we can shape the activities of the District Delegate Assembly to be in compliance with Robert's Rules of Order, except where it is no longer appropriate for us.
A good example of that is in Robert's Rules of Order. During the point of debate on a motion, you're allowed 5 minutes per person to discuss that issue twice. And if you'd multiply that by 23 people, we're there for a couple days. So we're going to have to put in some limitations on that. And I hope that all of that goes well. Can't believe that's 3 minutes. Thank you.
Next is the Pass Action Report.
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Hicks, and I'm a member of the Pass Action Group. I'm not really here to give you all a report as much as to make sure you're aware of 2 significant dates that are about to come up. The first, in reverse sequence, is July 9th will be the City Council meeting where they will rehear the entire Banning Point project all over again as a result of the lawsuit provision that we won a few months ago. So essentially it's a do-over. And so you may want to consider attending that meeting on July the 9th, and I think it's at 5 o'clock. But prior to that, which I think is very important, will be a Pass Action Group Town Hall here in the main ballroom on July the 7th at 6 o'clock. We tried to get it on a Sunday, but the place was not available, so that's a Tuesday evening also. But at that meeting, we will discuss what we think are the actual options and where we really stand. The important thing is we need to know from you, the community here at Sun Lakes, what you would like us to do based on what limited options we do have. And so it's not going to be up to the Pass Action Group to decide what to do per se. We really want to hear from members of Sun Lakes to guide that. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the OPA report. That may be the same individual. Are you, unless you're going to pass on that?
Another kind of no report. They basically, based on what I heard from the review of what transpired in the executive session today, there really is no update. So all of the things that were to come are still to come, I assume. So we'll have to keep you posted later. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Bingo Advisory Committee. You're recognized.
Following statements that have been made approving the new governance management system by members of the board on Channel 97, Sun Lake's Facebook, as well as the agenda item tonight, item 3F, and to support transparency with residents, I am introducing a motion to direct management to post on the Sun Lake's website no later than July 1st, the October $22,500 Sequoia Grove OPA contract, the May $10,000 Sequoia Grove OPA contract, and the governance policy manual, which has already been posted on the website. Second, notify all residents on Channel 97 and Good Day Sun Lakes of the posting on the website and the reasons for the notification. Add an agenda line item to the July open board meeting that will include a master board discussion to explain to residents the expected improvements and a plan on how this change will be implemented. Following the board discussion and resident comments, a vote to approve, deny, or postpone will be held. Approval of changing the way in which management is done for Sun Lakes Country Club is not included in any of the 6 categories approved by Davis Sterling Civil Code, which can be approved in executive session. This must be done in open session so that residents can voice their concerns and make comments to the board. May I have a second? Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? All in favor?
I believe
All in
I
favor?
believe Robert's Rules 4.15 states that the motion should be restated by the chair.
All in favor of the motion that has been made and seconded?
I'm in favor. Aye.
Can I comment? I want to just clarify. What you're asking is, or your motion is, to post the contract with Sequoia Grove on the website?
2 contracts.
I don't see any problem with that.
And also to notify the community that they have been posted. And add an item on the July agenda for discussion and a vote. I think it's
This
important.
matter
I
has
think it's important
been
that we
previously brought up by the board, discussed by the board, voted by the board, approved by the board, and right now, we have a motion to, again, pursue it, and a second, and we're now in the middle of the vote. I have 2 votes in favor. All opposed? Aye. Motion does not pass. Next item is
Thank you.
Bingo, you're welcome. Bingo Advisory Committee. Common Area Advisory Committee.
Very quick to this large audience this afternoon. Not much going on in the Common Area Advisory that is different from normal. We continue to nitpick the the facilities, both buildings and grounds. And just a reminder that even though it's the end of June, December comes up very quick, and anybody who is interested in any one of the committees, including mine, please get your information to us so that we can act on it and get the board to act on it before the end of the year shows up. Thank you.
Thank you. EPAP.
Good afternoon, board members, FSR, and fellow residents. I'm Candace Jenkins with EPAP. Linda Myers-Clabb has accepted the position of medical director for the EPAP. She has reached out to our medical rescue teams and will begin training with them in the month of July. During the most recent power outage, EPAP responded by notifying all of the EPAP coordinators via text. We also opened a virtual EOC. Some of our comms units have long-range radios that can maintain contact with all districts in Sun Lakes. Therefore, we did not have to open the building of the EOC. However, the virtual EOC would not work for major disasters. Securitas was in contact with both myself and Janice Rice. The North Clubhouse was not affected, and the residents that needed electricity for medical equipment supplies were directed to go there. We posted updates on the EPAP Facebook page and New Sun Lakers. Some replies to the social media indicated that several residents do not have flashlights. This is a must-have for many reasons. We feel that this was a rapid and effective response to the community needs. On July 4th, we will have a first aid tent set up on the driving range. If you are injured while playing one of the games at the festivities, we will administer first aid to you. If you get overheated, we will have a cooling station to administer cold water and cooling fans. If you choose to drink alcohol, remember to hydrate with water after each beer or alcoholic beverage. On July 22nd, the Riverside County Healthcare System Behavioral Health Unit will be here to talk about what to expect after a disaster from an emotional and psychological aspect. We look forward to seeing you there. I received this message from the Emergency Management Department. They will be holding a CERT class on August 23rd through the 25th in Calamasa. If you are interested, you can go to rivco.org or contact EPAP. Thank you, Jason.
Finance Advisory Committee?
Good afternoon, Board, management members. My name is Mary Jo McElwain, and I am Chairman of the Finance Advisory Committee. Our Finance Committee charter gives the committee the responsibility of reviewing the monthly financials and identifying for the board trends and significant variances. In June, we prepared a financial year-to-date recap of the key elements which are listed on the monthly financial report and compared them to last year and sent them to the treasurer for his review. We also sent along a list of recommendations for the board, some financial trends that are noteworthy, and questions to the management team on certain accounting issues. We support the conclusion of our board treasurer in his analysis of the financial position of Sun Lakes. Another of the responsibilities of the Finance Committee is to assist in preparation and review of the annual budget, and we already have in place a budget subcommittee. We are ready to do an analysis of the upcoming budget for the board. We are approved to have up to 11 members on our committee and are anxious for the board to approve the 3 new applicants. One applicant is a CPA, another has a master's in business management, and a third applicant is a distinguished graduate from Harvard University who was an executive of an architectural and engineering firm. These 3 individuals have certainly met all qualifications to serve on our committee and are willing to devote their volunteer time to Sun Lakes. It is on the agenda today for a board motion to appoint these applicants, and our committee supports their approval. Our charter lists 15 activities that we are responsible for, and the addition of 3 new members would certainly enhance our capabilities. Again, our committee is here to gather the financial information that the board needs to make their decisions. Residents are welcome to attend our Finance Committee meetings, and the next one is scheduled for July 17th at 2 p.m. in the multipurpose room. Thank you.
Thank you. Golf Advisory Committee?
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Callahan, Chairman of the Golf Advisory Committee. The GAC would like to thank Mark Birchfield and Golf Maintenance for the outstanding condition of the championship course during Charity Week. The condition of our course during Charity Week made a great impression on the visiting pros, especially the condition of our greens. Many commented the greens were among the best they've seen in Southern California. Golf Maintenance worked really hard and put in overtime hours to complete all the detail work. This outstanding presentation of Sun Lake's facilities was priceless in marketing our community. During June, work to repair the drainage system on Championship 15 was completed. The new drain was engineered to reduce the turbulence in this area and lessen the likelihood of any future disruptions. At the same time, cart paths were replaced in areas on the executive course prioritized as significant trip and fall risks. Doing these jobs at the same time saved the community money by using the same contractor and the cost of mobilizing and staging the work into a single process. Thank you to all involved for the great job of working together. Next month, the GAC plans to submit recommendations for golf course projects in 2025 to the Master Board. This will include completing renovation of the sand traps on the back 9 of the championship course and prioritizing a list of tee boxes most in need of resurfacing. The timing of this recommendation for July will allow it to become part of the 2025 budget process.
Thank you. Library Advisory Committee?
Good afternoon. Just a couple of updates on what was mentioned at the last couple of Master Board meetings, one being the book group. We now have, which is not an officially recognized group or club yet, but we now have 18 members, and we are going to be submitting the application to the Recreation Committee this week, and hopefully for Master Board approval in the near future. We are going to have an informal meeting, our first one tomorrow. The Library Committee survey has been approved by the board, and we are placing those surveys in the 4 libraries tomorrow and Friday for a couple of months. The information will also be posted on Channel 97 and Facebook, and we'll give you an update at next month's meeting how it goes. We plan to collect those surveys periodically, and then by the end of August, we'll have enough results to know what we'll want to order in terms of books and audios for next year. And that's it. Oh, well, one more thing. If anybody is musically inclined, we now have a baby grand piano in the Fireplace Library, so enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Lifestyles?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Linda Vieira from the Lifestyles Advisory Committee. Here it is again, the wonderful Lifestyles magazine, which is the resource most residents turn to use to find out what's going on in our community. At more than 80 pages, it includes pictures from residents, plus articles from the Master Board, Delegate Assembly, First Service, the restaurant, the golf pro, and all the advisory committees. Clubs and groups send articles and photos about their activities to sunlakesnews@yahoo.com by the 6th of each month. The Lifestyles Advisory Committee meets on the 7th of each month, unless otherwise specified, to review and edit the articles submitted for each month's issue. We meet with Master Board Liaison Beverly Simmons, Assistant General Manager Jason Ewalls, and Recreation Manager Linda Vang to keep updated about events coming up in our community. We also publish want ads and for sale items from residents at no cost and hide a monthly joke for residents to find. Responses to our Get the Joke contest are put in a hat, and a winner is randomly drawn, earning a restaurant gift card as a prize. Photographs taken by residents of areas within Sun Lakes are used on the magazine cover, and they are beautiful. I hope you all appreciate them. They are really beautiful. We also post pictures of residents on their vacations or of their beloved pets. If you're good at proofreading and are interested in joining us, please fill out a volunteer application form that you can get in the main clubhouse lobby, and we'll put you on our waiting list. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Marketing Advisory Committee.
Good afternoon, Master Board, FSR residents. My name is Michelle Walter, and I am the chairperson for the Marketing Advisory Committee. We had our meeting yesterday, June 25th. Our virtual brochure is up and running, and Jerry even put music on it. I asked him to put music, and he put music on there for me. We have our next welcome home on July 25th at 5 o'clock. I encourage all delegates to contact their new homeowners and invite them to the welcome home. It's a great time to meet the clubs and groups and maybe sign up for their activities. If you are a club or group and would like to participate in the welcome home, please contact either Linda Vang or myself. We normally set up about 12 tables for you. Our logo sign is in for the Sandwich Bar and Grill, and it looks fabulous. We have not put it up yet, and we have a request for the Master Board to put some paneling in the back, and hopefully that's going to get approved today. The Marketing Committee is dedicated in learning and responding to our residents' needs. We have created Viewpoint, a new website that gives you the opportunity to share your thoughts and opinions. It is completely confidential. Our first survey will be in Lifestyles magazine in July, and there will be flyers and signs that have a QR code. There will also be hard copies in the Sandwich Bar and Grill and at the reception desk. It takes you less than 2 minutes to complete this. We encourage everyone to complete the survey so that we can get your valuable ideas to make positive changes in our community. The surveys will change from month to month based on the needs of our residents. The following are the stats on the home sales in Sun Lakes from June 1st to the 25th. Active or coming soon are 38. 2 condos, prices from $305 to $380. 36 homes, prices from $349 to $599. In escrow, we have 23. 6 condos, prices from $295, $800 to $380. 17 homes, prices from $345 to $569. Closed escrow so far this month is 3 condos, prices from $302, $500 to $345, and 8 homes, prices from $360 to $535. So guess what? If we had this done at the beginning instead of the 17th that it was recorded, we would have made $24,090, and that goes directly into our replacement fund. So there will be some money going in there because some closed after the 17th, so that will now start going into our replacement fund. I just want to let you know, this is the Viewpoint, and all you have to do is click on this. There's a little QR code, and all you have to do is click on that, and you'll be able to answer it. There's only 5 questions. It took me less than 2 minutes to do it, so I encourage everybody to do it. Thanks.
Thank you. Master Architectural.
Good afternoon, Master Board and residents, especially you who are paying attention on Channel 97. There's going to be a lot more of you that need this information than is in this room. I'm David Keeley, Vice Chair of the Master Architectural Committee. We often talk about where you can go to get the information about rules and regulations and information about applications you need to make, and I'm going to keep it simple. A long time ago, someone told me, put the cookies on a lower shelf. So the cookies on the lower shelf today, here are the 5 applications that you need when you're going to make a change at your residence. Home improvement vinyl fencing application, home improvement landscaping application, home improvement paint, and at our meeting on Tuesday, we had 70 applications for painting on our agenda, 70. Out of 86 items, there's new business, there's old business, there's violations that are only 16 items. So painting is really improvement. I talked to the man across the street who finished. He was there about a week. His name is Cal, and he did a great job on the house across the street. And I mentioned to him after he was closing up, I said, do you need more business? Because I'm on the Master Architectural Committee, and if somebody asks a question, we don't publicize vendors. But I said, I'd be happy to share your name. I'm really impressed with what you did. He said, I'm normally backlogged 2 months. I am now backlogged 2 years. So things have opened up. People are painting. So that's the paint application, number 3. Number 4, miscellaneous, home improvement miscellaneous. What would that be? Years ago, I have a light on the back of our patio, and it failed. And I just thought, we don't use that very often, so it failed 2 years ago. So I replaced it, so I submitted an application with what I wanted to replace it with. So that's miscellaneous application, and then home improvement patio application. A lot of patios that are wood are failing because they're old and they don't last forever, so they're being replaced. So we have a lot of those. So Tammy doesn't really need these, but this is my report.
Thank you. Procurement Advisory?
Good afternoon again. Good afternoon again, Master Board and fellow members of Sun Lakes and First Services. My name is Bob Hicks, Chair of the Procurement Advisory Committee. We met for our monthly meeting on June the 17th. Our board liaison, Bob Walter, presented us with an executive overview of the major events of significance to the PAC. Chris Mitchell provided a copy of the current projects and initiatives matrix that is a monthly update, and essentially updated us on the current staffing issues which have up until recently had an adverse impact on First Services' ability to move forward and progress on a number of operational and reserve projects. Items of significance are as follows. A project plan developed by the Technology Assessment Initiative Work Group was submitted to the board on June the 7th for approval and authorization to request the use of time from First Services. They're the people that we're going to have to rely on to really understand what technology we have, where it's located, and what runs on what device as one of the first phases of this technology assessment initiative. Let's see, we're awaiting clarification from the Master Board regarding PAC's role in the development of a request for proposal for the food and beverage operations. The golf course tree trimming RFP, it was delayed now for a second month due to some modifications that they want to make to it. The PAC was appraised on the status and project of the lounge expansion project, and we are beginning a dialogue with FSR staff in the development of the 2025 reserve study. They've requested us to help them with that. Specifically, I'm not sure what yet. The PAC will collaborate with the executive general manager on the development and review of the spending plan from the repair and replacement fund, reserve fund, and the capital improvement fund for the remainder of the year. We're anticipating now a very busy second half of the year. So anybody who has this kind of a background or interest in understanding the RFP and procurement process, please feel free to join us. Thank you. We meet on the third Monday of each month in the executive conference room.
Thank you. Recreation?
Board and audience here and at home. We have a really fun 3 weeks coming up in July. For starters, though, this Friday, the 28th, we have Fallout coming out and playing music for us. And then we're going to have on the this Saturday, the beginning of Music Under the Stars with Delaney and James. And then on the first Wednesday, July 3rd, we have Renee coming back between 5 and 8 o'clock p.m. in the veranda. There's always the bar with music and drinks there for those of you that would want to stay inside where it's cooler. The big one is our 4th of July annual event. And I am very, very pleased to say that with the cooperative effort of our Restaurant and Lounge Advisory Committee and now EPAP, and then under the leadership of Linda Vang and her staff, we are going to have a wonderful day event for your families and your grandchildren. And they include our golf cart, float, and classic cart parade. And we're also going to have the Highway Patrol here, ROTC from the Beaumont High School and Boys and Girls Club. And we are also going to have 4 awards, first, second, and third place. Plus, the 4th is the Bill Mock Award, which is going to be really exciting to come out and see. The parade doesn't start until 10 a.m., but you're going to want to get out here early to get your favorite spot to see the parade. They're also going to have brunch, and we're also going to have a barbecue. And lots of games, watermelon eating contest, water balloon contest, 3-legged race, cornhole, and the magician, the balloon artist, and the paint facing. So you're going to want to come out on that day to celebrate with us, and it is proud to be an American. Our Veterans Club is also going to have their carts leading the parade. On Monday, the second Monday of July, we'll have our ice cream social, July the 8th, between 2 and 3 o'clock, $3 for 3 scoops. And then on Thursday, July the 11th, we have our blood drive from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we are going to have a comedy night. It will be table seating on a first come, first serve. So if you want to sit with a group of friends, make sure you get your checks in all at the same time. You'll be able to pick a table. And I don't have the price here. Do you know, what's the price for that? $15. So please come out. The sale of the tickets will start July 1st. Thank you.
Thank you. RV storage?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon, board members and residents. My name is David Puckett, and I am chairperson for the RV Storage Lot Committee. I know there's been a lot of discussion and board meetings on the security of the RV storage lot. The committee has made many recommendations to the board for improvements on the security in the RV lot. Not knowing the latest discussions from the board, I will be reporting on our committee meeting we had last week. And these are from minutes of the meeting that we had. During our meeting with Gary Burkle and Jason in attendance, we asked for an update. Still hear me? Okay. We asked for an update on our recommendation to the board. They both were very informative and explained many of our recommendations had been approved and were obtaining bids for work. They were also reviewing other options. The discussion was very helpful, and we all agree that improved security is in our goal. The status of the RV lot is again 100% full with a growing wait list. I'd like to make a comment. I think I speak for the whole committee that after hearing the executive session from the board, that they approved cameras on the east wall and extending the wall on the north wall, I think that is the best 2 improvements we could have done. And I want to thank the board for that. I think it's well worth effort. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Restaurant and Lounge?
Good afternoon, everyone. I know there's a little delay because there's a problem with but that's why we're here. Anyway, International Waffle Day is this Saturday, June 29th. Come on over to the Sandwich and enjoy a waffle Benedict with chicken, or a golden fruit waffle. Sounds like good stuff. And then on July 4th, the breakfast burritos and the barbecue lunch will be available in conjunction with the Recreation Department activities taking place throughout the day. The portable bar will be outside the bus room at 8 a.m. Breakfast burritos, which with a cost of $8.25, will be available near the front doors of the main clubhouse until the parade starts. The barbecue lunch, which has a cost of $16.50, will take place in the ballroom beginning at 11 a.m. The Cheers bar will open from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and the portable bar will be open on the veranda. I hope everybody has a safe and fun day with their family and friends. July 12th is National Hot Dog Day with original and bacon-wrapped hot dog specials on that day. July 25th is National Chili Dog Day. And July 31st is National Avocado Day. Both days will have specials for you to enjoy. And on June 18th, the automatic gratuity was no longer included on your bar or food bill. Please remember to leave something extra for our servers. 18, 20, or 22% of your bill is the industry standard. A tip recommendation is noted on your bill for your convenience. Our servers rely on your generosity. There are many service jobs available in our area. It is important that we recognize our servers and keep them in Sun Lakes by tipping accordingly. Unfortunately, there have been a number of cases where members are not leaving a tip for our servers since the automatic service charge was eliminated just 2 weeks ago. Since servers work part-time, they rely on tips to supplement their hourly wage. So thanks for taking care of our wonderful staff by giving them a tip. It is summertime. It's very tempting to bring outside alcohol to the main clubhouse pool. The pool is part of the clubhouse footprint where our liquor license is active, so bringing outside alcohol is not permitted. Please do your part in maintaining that rule of not bringing outside alcohol to the main pool. It could very easily jeopardize our privilege of having a liquor license. If you see someone bringing outside alcohol to the main pool, please call the main gate so the community patrol can address the issue. Bringing your own alcohol is permitted at the North and South Clubhouse pools. And if you are traveling this summer, please be safe and enjoy your vacation. And this is actually the flyer too for it's in the lobby. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Safety Advisory?
Good afternoon, board, management, and residents. My name is Michael Voles. I'm chairman of the Safety Advisory Committee. Southern California is now in the fire season, as we know. Securitas has taken some proactive measures to enhance Sun Lake's fire preparedness. They have conducted risk assessments, provided specialized training to personnel, and engaged in community education on fire safety. In addition, there has been a strong coordination with local fire services to prepare for quick and effective response in case of emergency. Many areas of Sun Lakes recently experienced a power outage lasting several hours. When this occurs, our EPAP teams spring into action to provide assistance to those in need. EPAP team coordinators have lists of names and addresses of those who are dependent on electricity for medical aid. If phone service is available, we recommend that those in need call the EPAP emergency line. Let me give you the phone numbers: 951-524-3126. I'll repeat that number so you can write it down. It's area code 951-524-3126. It's the EPAP emergency line. Our security department has seen a significant increase in suspicious activity by individuals outside Sun Lake's walls.
Residents have been very good at contacting security when suspicious activity is observed, and Mike Romero and his team have been very good at responding to calls. Remember to first contact Banning Police Department, then security here if you see something suspicious. Pool monitors from Securitas have been engaging with residents and guests at the main clubhouse pool and enforcing Sun Lakes Country Club rules and regulations. They have at times encountered a few residents and guests not complying with regulations, such as Marcia just mentioned, bringing outside alcohol, bringing infants wearing diapers in the pool, or using large inflatables. The pool monitor will make sure that all rules and regulations are followed, or the resident will be asked to leave the pool area. We ask everyone to drive safely and observe speed limits and stop signs. If you see something, say something, and keep your garage doors closed. Have a happy and safe 4th of July. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item is the consent agenda. If I can have the general manager read the consent agenda for us.
Yes, the consent agenda for the board's consideration is the approval of the May 22nd, 2024 open session meeting minutes, as well as a resolution to record a lien on the following properties. That is under account number 0278-01, 0592-02, 1453-01, 1589-01, 2047-01, 2233-02, 2417-02, 2760-01, and 2836-04. Those are the items that are on the board's consent agenda.
Thank you. Any board member wish to pull any item from our consent agenda? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I move we approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next is the financial report for May 2024, be provided by our treasurer, Gary.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Burkle, Sun Lakes Treasurer. I'd like to start off with making this work. I want to follow up on Michelle talked about, and that is this repair and replacement fund assessment. As treasurer, I think I want to congratulate all of us. In fact, I'd like to have a round of applause for all of the people who voted for this measure. We voted in December. Unfortunately, there was a delay, but this measure has potential of raising a lot of money for our community. I'm estimating that from now until the end of the year, I expect it to raise around $200,000, and it has the potential, obviously, of raising close to $400,000 annually. And this will definitely help our budget because a large portion of our monthly HOA goes towards the repair and replacement fund. We're currently putting $220,000 a month into that fund, and so this will definitely help, and I appreciate everybody's help getting that passed. I also want to talk a little bit about our investment return. Our investments are managed by a division, or a person named Carla Chung, who works for a division of First Service. And we often talk about communication, and we've gone back and forth, and I've gone back and forth with Carla just to kind of get clear on what's going on with our investments. And it is confusing because we buy a lot of investments at a discount, so then we have to figure out how to recognize that over a period of time. And we have investments that we purchase, and they don't pay any interest until the security matures. So it's very difficult to figure out on a monthly basis how much they return. But anyway, we've gone back and forth, and we've gotten a report now that I'm happy with, and happy to report that our return is about 4.5%. The total return annually is around $600,000, and on a cash basis, because it is different than what our return is, the cash return is about $460,000 a year, which is actually, or that's the estimate for 2024, which will actually be $120,000 in excess of our budget. So that definitely will also help. And also, I believe the lounge expansion, as it progresses and ultimately is ready for us to all enjoy, will also be an enhancement to our revenue. So all those things are positive for the community. The things I am concerned about, however, are, for the month of May, the HOA actually had a loss of $170,000. Our cash balance at May 31st, this is cash in the operating fund, was $329,544. As you've heard me say in the past, I believe we have to work to improve our operating fund position, and that's something that we will be addressing in the next budget. Outstanding bills, as you can see, as they compare to our cash, are lopsided in a sense, because outstanding bills at the end of May were $1,190,709. Now, cash and receivables, which is typically referred to as our sort of our current position, cash and receivables, that's cash that we have in the bank and money coming in, that actually exceeds bills by $125,000. And we owed First Service at the end of May $792,000. So, and this is the concern I have, and I'm here to just tell you what the numbers show. And this is a comparison, and it's all line graph, so you have to look. But in May of 2022, we actually had a surplus of $335,000 and in May of last year, we had a surplus of $397,000. At the end of May this year, we have a surplus of $17,000. So that's obviously not heading in the right direction. And I jump ahead here. And as you've heard, we are working on an RFP for food and beverage. We plan to put that out to bid here sometime in the next couple of months. And we need that because, as you can see, comparing, this graphic shows our budget, actual result in the restaurant, and the difference. So last year, our actual result was a $369,000 loss. Through May of this year, it's $412,000, and the amount over budget has increased. So we need to address this issue. It's a situation for all of us to recognize, and we're working on a plan to improve that. I just want to cover the repair and replacement fund. This shows how much we spent out of the repair and replacement fund in May, $293,190. And as I said before, we put $220,000 in. So far this year, we've put $1.1 million into the repair and replacement fund, and we spent $1,465,000. At the end of May, there was $12,352,000 in the repair and replacement fund. The annual expenditures are budgeted for $3.8 million, and we expect to spend $220,971 out of there on the lounge expansion. The rest of the money, as you can see from the bottom of this, $629,000 is budgeted to come out of the Capital Improvement Fund. And I think there's some bookkeeping issues or something, because I don't think those numbers are right for May. But anyway, the balance in the capital improvement fund, the cash balance was $1,200,000, and we expect to spend $629,000 on the lounge expansion. That's my report. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email me. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a recommendation to review and file the financial packet for May. I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Next is the Safety Advisory Committee report. Management received a couple of recommendations from the Safety Advisory Committee that pertain to the following items: pedestrian gate and traffic violations. Recently, a security fence was installed just past the entrance gate of gate number 1. It was installed to guide pedestrians who exit the community to the pedestrian gate. There have been issues with resident pedestrians entering and exiting via the vehicle access point, which is a real security issue. The committee recommends keeping the pedestrian gate at number 1 open from the hours of 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. to allow residents access and entry and exit from that gate. This recommendation is to be a trial and to be monitored until November 3rd, 2024, after daylight savings time expires. At that time, the Safety Advisory Committee will review the recommendation and discuss whether or not to recommend continuation of the policy. In addition to that, item number 2 is traffic violations. As we all know, traffic patterns here at Sun Lakes have been and continue to be a problem. There are no consequences for violations, so some residents are careless and could cause accidents. They fail to stop at stop signs, they speed, and some are reckless. The Safety Advisory Committee recommends that the Master Board give approval to Securitas to monitor random intersections at random times for at least 1 hour per day. 2 hours would be better. Patrol could monitor from discrete locations and record license plates of vehicles who fail to stop at the signs. The procedure then is this. A letter is sent to the resident to indicate they have failed to stop at a stop sign. Time and location is given. The letter is a warning, but indicates if there is another violation within the next 12 months, they will be asked to appear at the Safety Committee hearing and be fined according to a schedule, which they recommend: $50 for the first violation for a hearing, $100 for the second, and $200 for the third. The same procedure would apply to residents who observe by patrol showing an exhibition of speed when it deems appropriate and is unsafe. This, of course, is more difficult to patrol, to observe and record, but it may occur. Michael Romero has indicated that if this recommendation is approved, the monitoring of intersections will be done by himself or Lieutenant Roman, so that no one is pulled from patrol. This is not meant to be a cure-all for traffic issues here at Sun Lakes, but it is a first step to establish a consequence for traffic violations. Your consideration is appreciated. I need a motion in reference to that.
I will move forward with both of these suggestions with some changes to them. The first one with and I don't know, do I need to put this in part of my motion?
Yes.
Yes, okay. The first one asks us to keep the gate open and propped open. And that has been an ongoing concern for a lot of people. So I'd like to remove the propped open and just leave the gate open at the trial to be monitored through November and see how that goes. And if it doesn't help, then maybe we can talk further on with that. But that is the first change I'd like to make. And the traffic violations is a great idea, but we have to create a rule for that. We have no rules right now that say you have to stop at stop signs. It's kind of common sense. So we'd have to create a rule. So
you would begin a rule change process.
Correct. We would ask for service to begin a rule change process so that we could do this. That's a long-winded motion.
I second that motion. Any comments from the board? Any comments from membership? I believe we have one coming up.
Yes.
Steve?
Either that or he's got me for popcorn. I'm not sure which.
Steve Neese, Sunrise Drive. I'm completely in favor of Mike and the assistant parking themselves and watching people run the stop signs. I see this almost every morning I walk. You got to look both ways, 4 ways. People in golf carts. It's not just vendors, it's residents. Golf carts, cars, etc. Don't even slow down. They run right through a stop sign. As far as the gate being open, I'm 100% against that for 2 reasons. Number one, there have been numerous times I have come in the main gate, and as a person was walking in and on a bicycle, the Securitas person was busy checking somebody in, looking at her computer, not noticing that the people were walking in. One time it was an individual with a young guy with a big backpack on. He went walking right straight through. The Securitas person didn't even see him as I was watching it as I was coming in. Second reason is there's been numerous times that a large truck has come into the second lane, and that has completely blocked the Securitas person who's checking in cars to see the person walking by, which I saw in one instance. The truck completely blocked this person, and the Securitas was busy with her computer, etc., talking to the car, the driver of the car, while this truck completely blocked somebody walking right into the community. So I'm completely against leaving that gate open. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Here comes one more. Please make sure you introduce yourself when you come up.
When it comes to the amount of the fine after they've been given one grace of being $50, I think it's way too inexpensive. It's not punitive enough. It should be significantly higher.
That's the fine schedule that we currently have on other matters, and that's why they're following the same schedule. I agree with you.
And maybe it could be dealt with as part of the rule change, as a suggestion.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dorinda Shaw. I've actually been here just about in a year. And so I just had a comment on the gate. So I walk almost every day. And walking out of the main gate, I noticed that there's a new gate that's been put up, a security gate. It wasn't there initially when we moved in, but it's there now. I thought the purpose of that was to prevent anybody from coming in and out and walking on the lawn and all of that. But if you leave the gate open, it just seems like that defeats the purpose of putting that gate up there in the first place. And then I've had to have my key, and now you're saying I don't really need the key. But I actually got stopped at gate 5 for coming in the gate, coming outside of the gate and walking on the street, and was asked if I lived here. But I think the gentleman was correct, as if the guards are free, then they can do that. But if they're busy, they're not able to do that. And so having the gate open to me seems to be a problem with security, if security is our issue. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Sharon Keeley, Laguna Seca. I am totally against having that gate open because there's people that just drop off people here that go through that gate. Well, they go around because they don't have a key to our gate. And they could be caregivers, but I also could have a uniform and be in here. And also, I'm sure there's a lot of our workers that are getting dropped off, but I think the gate should be locked. That's the whole idea of our security.
Thank you.
David Marshall Keeley, Laguna Seca Court. As this recommendation was being talked about and now it's presented, a concern I had was that there's an issue of the key. And I think there needs to be more attention paid to helping people make sure that they pay the $5 if it's $5 to get a duplicate key or get a key. A lot of people don't even pay attention to the key. So there's not been that issue addressed, I don't think, enough. I really am in favor of the gate that needs to be locked. I think the fence that's put along there prevents people from walking in the street, but I don't know what it would cost to have someone there as an employee or volunteers to monitor what's happening there. But I don't know if everyone has a $5 bill with them maybe, and make sure that they have a key, because use the key, use the gate.
Thank you.
Well, I'm a walker also, and I do like the idea of having the gate open. And the reason being is that sometimes you forget your key, and the whole purpose of this is so that people stay on that area and they're not going out in front of the traffic and getting hit. And yes, Securitas is probably busy and whatnot, but they're going to be busy regardless if the people go in and out the other side where we've got the new fence up. So it's really not going to make any difference whether you have that gate locked or you keep it open. If they're going to get in, they're going to get in.
Any other comments?
On Birdie Drive, and I just want to. You got to get closer to the mic. Sandra Gutnick and Birdie Drive, and I just wanted to express a concern about leaving the gate open as well. Maybe they'll get in, but I don't think we need to make an open invitation. And I walk and go outside, and I have to remember to bring my key. And I had even had a concern at other gates where you go out and the spring is such that it doesn't latch on its own, it like bumps. So now the gate is open, I have to close it. It's just important to me. I think gates have locks on them and they should be locked. Thank you.
Thank you. Considering all the response from membership, what we might want to do is split these two recommendations and vote on each one individually, because there's two recommendations together. One is the pedestrian gate, and the other has to do with violators of stop signs and having them fined. Would you like to amend that motion?
Yes, I will. Excuse me. I will move to table the pedestrian gate for more study and for more education, because I think there's a lot behind this that maybe hasn't been shared. So I move to table that. I just need a second so we can do that.
I'll second that.
Okay, no vote.
No vote.
No.
And
then the traffic.
We're going to go ahead and vote. We've had comments on that. We're going to go ahead and vote on the traffic violation matter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Our teacher here.
Just a point of clarification, I believe we were going to break those into two and take votes on each. So there was a motion to table, there wasn't a second.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, okay, so
Yeah,
that.
Bob and Gary both.
Okay, so then you moved on to the second, the traffic, and, okay, got it.
They were just too quiet.
Next item is a committee request from the Marketing Advisory Committee. I think Randy is going to be handling this one.
Okay. Am I on yet? Okay. The Marketing Advisory Committee has recommended that we, has had a couple of recommendations to enhance, one of them is to enhance the ambiance in the Sandwich Bar and Grill. We have, that will include, I'm not going to read it all verbatim, it was in the agenda. We're going to be adding some faux woodwork to the back wall behind the bar where the new sign will go, up above the beer taps, sorry. Sorry about that. And so that's one. So I'd like to handle these individually. So what I think our best bet on this one is this will help with some acoustics. It will help for the, it'll blend in better with the front of the bar than the white wall that we have, or the goldish wall that we have in there right now. So it should make it very, very, very pleasing to the eye and so forth. So I would like to make a motion that we do the improvement to the Sandwich bar and grill back wall, including installation of the new sign, not to exceed $8,000.
I'll second that. Any other comments from the board or from membership?
One of the most, Linda Vieira, one of the most distressing things about the Sandwich is the level of noise. And I'm certain that putting something behind the wall is just a drop in the bucket. And I would recommend that you put some kind of waffling on the walls to absorb that sound, because you've got a hardwood floor, and it's real. Sometimes it's hard to even talk at a table because there's so much noise from other people talking. And now you're talking about adding a speaker with music. And it's going to be prohibitive to go into that Sandwich or to have a quiet lunch or a breakfast or dinner.
Thank you, Linda. So go ahead. Yeah, we need to vote.
Any other comments from the board or membership?
Michelle Walter, Marketing Committee. So Linda, the whole purpose of putting that up there is to help with the acoustics. We can only do certain things at certain times and with the lounge expansion, so we're trying to do as much as we can and not cost our homeowners a lot of money. So we'll start with this and then we'll see where it goes from there, and I can make another recommendation later on, but this is what we've recommended right now.
Thank you. Any other comments before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Okay, as Linda noted, the other one of the other items recommended by the marketing committee is to put an outside speaker in the area where we have tables outside the Sandwich, as well as the area right now that we have the shades, and we have more tables out there now. So just putting some music out there, or if it should be a sporting event that's on, you wouldn't have the TV, but you could even do the TV or the TV audio. So if we wanted to do that. So I would like to make a motion that we approve that speaker and installation not to exceed $1,000.
I'll second that. Any comments from the board or from membership? All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0.
And finally, now you can get a visual for what we're talking about, is this has been talked about for a couple of years, according to Jason, putting some televisions, monitors technically, there next to that flag, and there next to that flag. So we don't have to have this portable screen up here. It will be keyed into the AV system. So we won't have to set up the projector each time. It will be nice and be able to use for any type of event that and we could even probably do music at some point with the music stuff if we just wanted to do music and some videos or whatever for celebrations of life, anything like that. It wouldn't have to go through this, as I call it, this contraption over here. So. Nor try to use the big screen that's way back in the back of the stage. So I would like to make a motion to approve the ballroom monitors for installed not to exceed $5,000.
I'll second that. Any comments from the board or from membership? All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is a committee member appointment to Library Advisory Committee. We received a request from the chairperson of the Library Advisory Committee to appoint Laurel Stanley to the committee with a term ending 12/31/2025. Need a motion on that?
I move to approve Laurel Stanley for the Library Committee.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next is EPAP. We received a letter from EPAP requesting the board approve funds for CERT training. This would be a 20-hour class with EPAP coordinators and zone captains attending. The total cost would be $4,424.11. I need a motion in reference to that.
I will move to approve.
I'll second.
Any comments from membership or the board?
Yes, I have some, because I have no idea what CERT was, so I decided I'd look through to see what it is that they're trying to do. This is a class that many of our EPAP coordinators and zone captains and stuff can attend at the same time. And it's a community emergency response team class that gives you information. I'm looking at their course objectives here on disaster preparedness, medical operations, disaster psychology, we need that here, fire safety and utility, light search and rescue operations. So it's a huge event. We have some people in here now who are, thank you, certified in that. And just to have more people who have the ability to do those kinds of things, I think is a huge value for this community. We've seen challenges here. We had the fire back there, we had the hurricane potential coming through. So having the ability for this community to pull together and having a team in place that can really support anything that happens and support this community, I think is a good idea. And for, $4,500, I don't know, how many people can attend that? 10? I think that's over 40. I'm getting cues from the EPAP lady. But that's a great value, actually, if we do that. So that's just my comment.
Any other comments before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next is an update on the RV lot security. First Service staff will provide an update.
I'm going to add on to Mr. Puckett's committee updates. So first, you might remember on the May 22nd meeting, there were several items that the committee had requested. So I'm just going to give a follow-up on the numbered items. One was the beam system, reinstall, repair the previous system. Now we're researching this item. This technology with the beam system has not worked at other locations. And some of the companies that used to provide that have moved out of that segment of security industry. There are options with pressure sensors that perform a little bit better, but we are researching that and what that cost would entail. Now for the camera system, the board did approve. You probably heard Jason's executive session update. We will be replacing the cameras with upgraded cameras. These will tie in directly with the front gate and their camera room area so that we will be have those activated. That's probably going to take about 3 to 4 weeks to get that accomplished, but that has been approved and we're going to be moving forward with that. Next was the request to establish a Wi-Fi system to support the above systems, also allowing members to have their own little Ring or other camera systems. Right now we are working we have one vendor looking to see what it would cost with a pole that would have line of sight to the North Clubhouse. That would allow us to piggyback on that Wi-Fi system from the North Clubhouse. That is being reviewed right now. If that does not work, we will look with Spectrum to see what options we have with them. The next is take recommendations and bids on a modern intrusion detection system for the RV lot only. Right now, the board moved forward with the camera system to get that upgraded and installed. That would get us to about 2 years' worth. This total intrusion system, that's an item that will be handled with the Procurement Advisory Technology Review Ad Hoc Committee. I just keep adding words into that committee. Bob Hicks knows what I'm talking about. But that will be part of their analysis and evaluation of systems and what we have now, evaluate what is available to purchase, to install for the association as a whole. Then identify easy access points along the perimeter and extend height of walls. That was approved, and the vendor is ordering the supplies needed. This will be on the majority of that will be on the northwest wall and a small portion on the north wall. That has been approved by the board, and the vendor, Mark Schleiden, contacted the vendor on Monday to make sure they were working toward that. Next, the suggestions were to add additional south-facing floodlights, north-facing floodlights, motion sensor replacements, redirect lighting. So those we are seeking quotes for on that as well, and what that cost would entail. Now, one of the suggestions was to remove deflectors on the east wall. That we will not be able to do, or the west wall, I'm sorry. Not the Wailing Wall, the west wall, or whatever, okay. One of the walls, the west wall, and we will be unable to take those deflectors off as it will have an impact on the homeowners that are there. One other thing that Mark Schleiden did with Artistic is to also address the landscaping around the RV lot. There were some pockets that potentially somebody could hide because some higher brush. Also on the open lot to the east of the RV lot, Artistic went in there and gave a break point, basically cutting down any weeds or anything where people potentially could hide at night and when attempting to jump over the fence. So we will continue, as told the board in this morning's executive session, we'll continue to update the board on the progress and then give updates to the community as well. That completes my report.
Thank you. Next is appointment of Financial Advisory Committee members. We have a recommendation from the board that the following two members be appointed, Jess Ocampo and Sandra Gutnick. I need a motion in reference to that.
I make a motion to approve Jess and Sandra to the Finance Advisory Committee.
I second that. All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. That concludes our session. Next is homeowner comments. Before we begin the homeowner comments, we make sure that for 3 minutes, we are going to have a comment from our City Council Representative, Sherry Flynn.
Good afternoon. I just came from the desert. It was 114 degrees out there, so we're lucky we live in Banning and not out that way. Last night we had a city council meeting. We decided we had a workshop for the animal shelter, and I'm on the ad hoc committee with Councilmember Rick Manjares. The bottom line is that the city cost would be to run the shelter would be at least $888,000. That does not include the leasing and insurance of the animal control trucks, nor the salaries for police to oversee the shelter, so we would be closer to possibly $1 million. Using the county to provide the services, it will cost between $400,000 to $500,000 using one animal control officer, and we will receive many services that the city cannot possibly offer. We decided to go direct the city manager to go with a 1-year contract, and in the meantime, we're going to pursue different avenues of looking at nonprofits, but ideally trying to get a regional animal shelter here that the pass area cities would all contribute to and possibly build and have our own animal shelter in the pass area. S&P Global lowered the utility bonds, our utility bonds, from A- to BB, which means they're junk bonds, and also gave us a negative outlook. So last night it was discussed that there's going to be consideration of an interim electric utility fee hike, which could possibly be 10% or more. No vote of the people is required to do this, and that fee increase will be considered at the August 27th meeting. Good news is that Home Goods will be opening in September over in Beaumont by 2nd Street. And I have word from Jessica Voigt, of a city council member of Beaumont, who I saw at the WRCOG annual meeting a couple days ago. There will be no Costco and no Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's said there's not enough homes to support it. So it would be, and I would love to see more homes in the area instead of warehouses and cannabis. So that's my push, is to do that. After July 9th, the next city council meeting will take place on August 27th. So we go dark. And then I will be on vacation for the next 2 HOA board meetings in July and August. But I am available to give updates and information to the community at the district delegate meeting, which I have done in the past when I couldn't come here. These dates, fourth Wednesday does not work well for me, but the first of the month works well for me. So if I could do that again, I would love to do that again. And there's also going to be Blue Zones. There's a group that they're going to have we're paying $50,000 a year. Is that the end?
She has additional time. She has additional time. Continue to speak.
Oh, okay. So Blue Zones is a group, it's an independent group, and they have decided to help Banning create a more healthy atmosphere, bring things in. They can bring a lot of grants and money into the city. It's not really clear what they're going to be doing, but hopefully we can improve, like not have so many fast foods coming in, and hopefully not have as many, I mean, I think if you're going to have Blue Zones, you shouldn't be relying on warehouses to supply everything. You know, we need homes, and we need people, and we need families to come here and build up Banning and businesses, and that's what I would look for. So that's all I have. Oh, yeah, a question? Can I take a question? July 9th will be the Banning point. And I have been asked by the city to recuse myself, but I have declined. I do not have to recuse myself. The FPPC has told I have no financial consideration with voting on Banning Point. And so January 9th is going to be the last meeting, and that will be the main meeting for Banning Point to reconsider it. It got sent back by the judge, and we really should be looking at it as almost like a new project. It got delayed last time because there were 12 attachments that were left off of the agenda. So the city council nor the public was able to see what those attachments were, so that's why it was continued to January 9th. July 9th, sorry. And if you would like, again, my Facebook, get the latest information there, make comments, is Banning City Council, District 3, Sherry Flynn. And you can join there, or you can go on, it's public, you can go and look at it and see. I put all the latest things there, and you can also make comments on, and I enjoy having your comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the membership? Michelle Walter from Community Awareness has requested to speak.
Good afternoon again. Michelle Walter, Community Awareness Program Coordinator. We are having the Office of the District Attorney, County of Riverside, for our next program on July 2nd from 1 to 3. Mike Hestron, who is our District Attorney for Riverside County, is going to be speaking on what the DA's office does. I'm sure a lot of you don't really understand what the DA's office does, so he's going to come and explain. And then we're also going to have Maureen Dumichel. She's a Deputy District Attorney, and she's going to talk on elder abuse and frauds and scams. And I saw that Jason had frauds and scams up there, and so she's going to be touching on that. And I promised somebody that I just talked to before I came in here that I would mention this, and I want to reiterate what Mike and I think Marcia Midget said, is that we have to be very careful about having alcohol at the pool, especially the main pool. The footprint says no alcohol. Please, we do not want to lose our license for that. And then also, apparently, there are babies in the pool, and when they're asked to take the baby out of the pool because they have diapers, they take the diaper off. So, parents, grandparents, please be courteous and make sure. I think Jason was going to look for this, and I think children have to be at least 4 years old in order to be in the pool, and they have to be potty trained. So please, parents and grandparents, please make sure that your grandchildren are old enough to be in the pool, and please supervise them. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope Mike is able to make it. He's one of the top district attorneys in the country. Very, very well known, and has a great office. And so if he can make it, it would be very, very interesting if he can show up on the 2nd. Now we're going to have comments from the board. Gary? Okay.
The only thing I have to offer, at the last open meeting, I had mentioned that we're developing a detailed project schedule for the lounge expansion. That should be done in the next week or two. And the 2024 food and beverage financial forecast, management's been working on that. We should also have that in a couple weeks. Nothing else.
Thank you. Beverly?
Yes, I want to start off by saying thank you, excuse me, to all the volunteers who've helped with the charity weekends. Everybody gave so much of their time, their talent, wisdom, experience, and the June event was very successful. We had a lot of obstacles this year, even going so far as to having to cancel all of the April events. But we bounced back and were able to move 2 of the April events into June, and they were successful there. I also want to thank all of you, all the residents who came, who played in the Monster Scramble, which is always a long day but fun, came to the pancake breakfast, the ball drop, the cowboy karaoke. That one was a push. Applause to that committee. 2 weeks out, we'd only sold 50 tickets, but we ended up with over 150 attendees. So they did a really good job at the last minute. Pro-Am this year was a true Pro-Am with about 28 different clubs. Thanks to our Pro Shop, because they went all out to make this such a great event. And food and beverage, thanks to our food and beverage department for not only the magnificent food they prepared, but the magnificent service they provided and their flexibility. This event really showed off the spirit of Sun Lakes, but it's not the last one. There's more. Our final weekend is at the end of September, and it includes the fashion show and the putting contest, so stay tuned. Now, on a more somber note, this is something that kind of all of us have been talking about, but there's a huge concern within this community about the lack of respect and the disregard about the rules of the road. There are too many people here, and I think this is the problem, who believe the rules don't apply to them. When we bought our homes, all of us, we were given a stack of papers. I could barely move my hand after I have to sign all of those. At closing, to sign. And one of them was an agreement to abide by the rules and the CC&Rs of this community. That's one of the perks of living in an HOA. You move into a community like this, you have to follow the rules. So the speed limit, I thought we had rules, we're going to be working on that. These are common sense rules. Well, we do. We've got 25 mile per hour speed limit signs. Stop signs, these are the rules that we agreed to. Nothing's changed. Now, you may not like these rules, but you have agreed to abide by them. It doesn't matter what color you are, what culture you come from, what city you lived in, how long you've lived here, how old you live here. None of that matters. These rules apply. So please, take those extra 15 seconds to stop and slow down. I'm afraid it's going to take something serious in order for this to really hit home, and I don't want it to go there.
Time's up.
I'm on my soapbox, I'm sorry. Slow down, stop, respect. That's what we're here for. Respect each other. Thank you.
I just wanted to say,
I think,
and I'm kind of piggybacking a little bit on Beverly, didn't realize I was gonna, but I want to talk about our community patrol. We got a report, our monthly report from Mike Romero, and one of the things that I've noticed in our community, besides the speeding, besides the negative, is the positives. Let's see some more positive. Mike said he's been having some great interaction with people on issues, whether it be the pool issues or whatever. He's getting great reaction from that, and sees I don't know, synchronicity or whatever between security or the community patrol and us. And so I think we need to do that. And then again, of course, stop signs, speed limits, they do apply. So that's all.
Thank you. I believe Jason has a comment before I finish up briefly.
yeah. She'll turn.
Thank you very much. Just going back to rules, like everybody's kind of been talking about today, and what Michelle mentioned. So rule, section 6.05, main and north clubhouse pool and spa rules. Number 5 of that says appropriate swimwear must be worn at the pool and spa facility at all time. Children under the age of 3 are not allowed in the pool or spa, nor are those that are incontinent. Residents and guests are responsible for their own supervision at the pool and spa facilities. No swim diapers, or training pants are allowed.
Thank you. Let me just finish up with the same point. Apparently there was some major problems at the main pool this Sunday. I know I received, some written complaints regarding that. I believe some of the other board members may have also. And essentially, it appears that after the monitor leaves, it's kind of like you're having a substitute teacher. Everybody gets run wild and do whatever they want, and they don't obey the rules. So after the monitor left at 3 o'clock, they just started turning on the radios, screaming, bringing out beers, drinking in violation of the policy, putting our liquor license at risk. And pictures were taken of the perpetrators. So, we're going to find out who they were. They appear to be new residents. They're just not familiar with the rules and not familiar with our program here. But they have to realize that, we're expanding the lounge and we could lose our liquor license if people just continue to violate that like that. So we have changed the monitor. We have a monitor who's a little bit more vigorous in enforcing the rules and regulations. And what we're going to do is be excluding those people from our facilities, from the pools, and fining them, because this is very, very serious violation. One positive thing is that the board is reviewing and doing some brainstorming about different proposals to increase our revenues and reduce cost. And what we'd like to do is invite some proposals from the great committees that we have, the committee chair people. If they could present that to us, give us some ideas, give us some suggestions prior to the 31st of July in writing, so we can kind of review and assess those before we begin the budget process for next year. So we would appreciate your input and advice, and together we can make a real positive difference. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.